The OG Xbox, or original Xbox, we can't call it the Xbox One because Microsoft decided to name the third console that. The OG Xbox was Microsoft's first entry into the home video game console market. It was released in North America on November 15, 2001, then later for the rest of the world. It was the first console with a built-in Ethernet port for broadband internet connectivity, and the subscription-based Xbox Live service launched in 2002, allowing online gaming. It was the first console to use a hard drive, which my mom used to throw this up in my face when I would beg her for memory cards for my PS2 back in the day. Many childhood memories were made from the OG Xbox with my mom, playing Hitman and Halo and The Sims busting out. Speaking of games, the Xbox has a unique library of games, hidden gems even, like Blinks the Time Sweeper and Otage, if anyone remembers those games. Of course, Halo. Halo 1 and 2 were masterpieces on the system. Cross-platform releases like Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, the Xbox version was always the preferred way to play the game. The sheer power the Xbox packed was incredible. It was basically a PC cut and carved into a console body. The games looked and sometimes played better on Xbox. But I'm not here to ramble about the nostalgic memories and games that were released. I'm here to talk about the lost media of the console because that's what I do mostly on this channel. The titles that never saw the light of day, whether it was due to controversy or financial issues. But before we go further, I can see you. I can see that you're not subscribed. It would be lovely if you please subscribe to my channel. It helps me be able to make the videos that I can make, and it'll help me be able to be monetized. So please subscribe. South Park was a canceled open-world video game based on the television series of the same name. It was developed by Ubisoft and Buzz Monkey Software in 2005. The game was planned for release on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Nintendo GameCube before being scrapped for unknown reasons. Gameplay was similar to the Grand Theft Auto series and The Simpsons Hit and Run, allowing players to run freely and explore the town of South Park, drive vehicles, fight pedestrians, and complete missions. All four boys, Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny, were planned as playable characters, with additional characters drawn from all 8 seasons of the show at the time. The game was also set to include a split-screen multiplayer component featuring racing, combat, and other competitive modes. On September 27, 2015, 2 members of the YouTube channel Happy Console Gamer discovered a prototype of the game on a debugged Xbox console designed to run unfinished game code for testers and press demos. While the build was early and broken in places, much of its open world remained intact. Other less complete sections showcased things that had not been fully integrated into the game. For example, a test room for the combat system featured Cartman punching wild dogs. Additionally, a video of a cutscene surfaced showing Cartman in a mental hospital. Despite the recovery of this early Xbox build, it remains unknown whether additional builds of the game exist that have not yet been leaked to the public. Bladeball was a canceled extreme sports video game developed by Cat Mother around 2002 for PC and the original Xbox. Inspired by the movie Rollerball, the game was envisioned as a more violent version of soccer, two teams battling in an arena trying to score points by any means necessary. An early prototype was developed, but the gameplay failed to meet the team's expectations. Ultimately, the project was scrapped in favor of another title, Dead Justice, which was also eventually cancelled too. Dead Justice by Cat Mother, mentioned in the previous entry, was a cancelled third-person shooter developed between 2001 and 2003, intended for PC and Xbox. The game was never officially announced at any events like Space World, E3, no trailers, no nothing. The studio shut down due to financial issues, which halted the development of the game and caused its cancellation. The team released the full source code and the prototype of the PC version online. However, the Xbox version is completely lost. It's unclear if the Xbox version was ever in development to begin with. Reprisal was a cancelled first-person shooter RPG hybrid developed by Power Infused Productions between 2001 and 2004 for PC and Xbox. The game was envisioned as a mix between Quake, Thief, and Deus Ex, featuring 3 distinct playable species, each with unique gameplay, mechanics, weapons, and abilities. For example, players will rely on stealth when playing as humans, engage in direct combat as cyborgs, and focus on resource managing when controlling the alien factions. The story of Reprisal centers on a conflict between these 3 species over a space station, Joshua 20, located in the edge of the solar system. For centuries, humans have stationed their cat. Yes, there's a lot of cat in this video. But anyway, CAT stands for Combat Automatic Troopers, battle machines for their defense. But when an alien army led by a young prince eager to prove himself launches an assault on the station, things go terribly wrong. The cats malfunction and turn against both humans and the aliens, trapping all 3 species in a chaotic fight for survival. Unfortunately, the team was unable to secure a publisher for Reprisal. The project was ultimately cancelled in late 2004. Hollow was a cancelled first-person shooter developed by Zootfly between January 2003 and October 2004 for PC and Xbox. Officially revealed in September 2003, Hollow was considered ambitious for its time. The game featured a unique story and setting. Like a typical FPS game, it had a single-player campaign, as well as the multiplayer, alongside various characters to choose from or unlock as you progress through the story. The story was set in a country called Centrope. After a devastating 38-year conflict known as the Great War, the Central Powers united to form a massive authoritarian state. Centrope was governed by a bizarre Orwellian disco-fueled dystopia. Using a proprietary engine called Zooble, Hollow was planned for the release between Christmas 2004 and the spring of 2005. Zoofly frequently compared the game to other major first-person shooters of the era, including Doom 3, Halo, and Battlefield 1942, highlighting its blend of atmospheric storytelling, intense combat, and large-scale warfare. However, in October 2004, Hollow was put on hold due to a lack of interest from publishers. The game's ambitious scope and unconventional settings were reportedly key factors what made publishers hesitant to sign a deal with Zootfly. The project was put on hold several times until it was cancelled. In March 2004, Gen Gamers conducted an interview with Zoofly CEO Bastian Troha, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, who shared additional insights into Hollow's development, the story, and challenges the team faced when securing a publisher. If you're interested in reading the full interview, you can hit the link below. Citizen Zero was an ambitious, futuristic sci-fi MMORPG in development around 2000 to 2004 by Microforte, an Australian game studio with backend and engine support from its sister company Big World Technology. Citizen Zero was set in a sprawling high-tech universe centered on a penal colony planet called Terrace. The setting featured a mix of dystopian cyberpunk and classic sci-fi elements, megacities, corrupt corporations, bounty hunters, and powerful AI overlords. Players would take on the role of the citizens who were former prisoners, now set free into a chaotic world where survival, alliances, and combat ruled. Citizen Zero was also meant to showcase the Big World Technology Suite, a middleware platform designed to power a large-scale online games. Microforte hoped that this will both demonstrate their tech and carve out a new model for online gaming. Because of this, the game promised large player populations, persistent world mechanics, real-time shooter-style action, seamless transitions between areas with no loading screens. The game's cancellation was caused by the over-promising and ambitious features that just weren't possible on 2000's hardware and internet, mainly the seamless transitions between areas with no loading screens and the large player populations. Dragonkind was a canceled fantasy action-adventure game developed by Trilunar for the Xbox and PlayStation 2 around 2002. Set in the fantasy world of Vermilion, Dragonkind followed the adventures of a young man named Growl, who possessed the mysterious ability to control the power of the dragons. This power brought great advantages and serious complications, propelling Grail on a series of adventures across the world. The story was designed to evolve as Grail moved through these quests, ultimately leading to the final confrontation that will reveal the truth about his past and define his role in the world's future. The game was officially revealed in April 2002. However, the project was cancelled shortly after its announcement. In August 2002, Tri-Lunar confirmed its cancellation on its now defunct website. True Fantasy Online was an MMORPG in development by Level 5 for the Xbox. After a long and troubled development cycle that lasted close to 2 years, the game was cancelled on June 2, 2004. The game was to take place in a massive fantasy setting where up to 3,000 users, each with their own fully customizable character, could adventure around with others, fighting monsters and collecting various items. After being fully playable and near completion according to Microsoft, after the time of its cancellation, the title's development was littered with complications from the very beginning. One such problem was Level 5's inexperience with online network coding and their inability to properly implement voice chat compatibility into the game. It was a feature never before implemented on such a large scale in a MMORPG. However, Microsoft was very adamant on its inclusion as it was a key feature to the Xbox Live service. True Life Fantasy Online is often cited as one of the most disappointing project cancellations ever, as the game was highly anticipated almost right from the moment it was announced in 2002 and was marketed as one of the premier titles for the Xbox and its Xbox Live Online service in Japan. I can see why this was canned. It was too ambitious for the hardware and the network at the time, coupled with the team's inexperience with coding online games, spelled a recipe for disaster. Lionhead Studios was a British video game developer best known for the Black and White and Fable series. Founded in 1997 by Peter Molyneux, the studio was acquired by Microsoft in 2006 and ultimately closed down in 2016. While the studio was still active, it was developing a game called BC. BC was a planned action-adventure game for the Xbox and developed by Intrepid Computer Entertainment, a subsidiary of Lionhead Studios. Early 3D images showcase of BC's impressive clarity and self-shadowing. Previews highlighted the game's advanced artificial intelligence as it was the most innovative feature. According to GameSpot, BC was designed to include dynamic food chain systems similar to Peter Jackson's King Kong, where creatures will hunt one another. Intelligent dinosaurs and other animals will interact independently of the player, creating a world where species could potentially go extinct without direct player involvement. This concept reflected the signature Peter Molyneux approach: grand ambition bordering on overhyped. The gameplay would have centered on capturing and training animals to fight tribal enemies, featured creatures including the T-Rex, saber-toothed tigers, and apes. The dinosaurs were intentionally exaggerated in size, with Molyneux noting that the Tyrannosaurus rex seen in previews was a juvenile and only a third of the size of an adult. The game was also intended to be quite graphic with gore. Molyneux famously claimed that the dinosaurs would spill swimming pools full of blood when killed. Ultimately, BC was cancelled. Fans generally believed the project was too ambitious to be completed. Even during development, Molyneux admitted that he was unsure could it even be released because of the ambitious nature of the gameplay and the high standards the people developing it were pushing for. And let's be real, hardware limitations too. Even though the Xbox was the most powerful console of that generation, a game like this would give the Xbox a run for its money. Doom 3 was difficult to port on the Xbox because of its dynamic lighting system and the high detail polygons. As modern vintage gamer coined the phrase, Doom 3 was an impossible port. According to one article that was published in May 2002, the demo was roughly about 50% complete. Its cancellation was announced in late 2004. The Big Comfy Couch is a Canadian kids series starring Lunette the Clown and her doll Molly. Even though I remember this airing in the US, it could just be the Mandela effect. But anyway, it originally aired on YTV between 1992 and 1996, with later seasons on Treehouse TV in 2002 and 2006. The episodes featured fun routine like clock rug stretch and the 10-second tidy. After making a big couch mess, gaining a cult following for its educational charm and style. In 2004, an unnamed studio began work on a 3D platformer game based on the series, intended for release on the Xbox. Unlike the expected directions for a children's game, this project seemed to take on a more ambitious, mature tone, featuring full 3D graphics, gameplay interfaces such as health bars, and even hints of Xbox Live compatibility. The design appeared to lean into action platform mechanics, with sequences including Lunette navigating environments and interacting with oversized dust bunnies, a recurring theme in the show, but present here with exaggerated effects and surprising gore. One odd image featuring Lunette seemingly bleeding after being attacked by the giant dust bunnies. The blood was later explained as grape juice, along with other things like the strange action elements in the game, by the developer Chris Tang when he joined the Lost Media Discord server with El Supersonic Q. For better details of this topic, please watch El Supersonic Q's videos on the topic, as he and others were way more involved with the search. I'm just speaking in third person. During the talk on the Lost Media Discord server, Chris Tang not only confirmed the existence of the game, but also stated that he's the only person who has the hardware that the game runs on, most likely the Xbox development kit, but he does not have access to it. In December 2022, Chris got the development kit to work and uploaded gameplay footage running it. He has stated that he will upload more footage at some point. So this topic is sort of found, it just has yet to be fixed and prepared for emulation. The VATS is a canceled science fiction post-apocalyptic horror third-person action RPG hybrid developed around 2001 to 2002 by Beenox Incorporation for the PC and Xbox. Set in the distant future, the game envisioned a world where a war between humanity and vampires ended in a vampire victory, leaving humans enslaved. In cities perpetually shrouded by artificial fog, players would assume the role of Zack, a human slave in the city known as the VATS. Zack joins the rebellion with the goal of exterminating all vampires and reclaiming the planet. Zack possesses the unique ability to control certain types of vampires called receptacles. He can command 3 different kinds, each with own movements, combo-based compatibilities, both in melee and with weapons. The title was unrevealed in April 2002 ahead of that year's E3 as a showcase for Beenox in-house engine Goliath. After it's revealed, however, the VATS disappeared without further updates. Beenox shifted its focus to developing Windows and Macintosh ports of licensed games for Activision. It was implied that the VATS was cancelled due to a lack of publisher interest. In September 2021, an Xbox prototype dated October 2002 was leaked by the preservation group The Hidden Palace. In 2022, PTOP Online showcased the prototype in detail. The build is available for download, though compatibility with Zemu, the Xbox emulator, remains uncertain, as Xbox emulation is still in its early stages and less mature than the other emulators. Pumpkin Man was a canceled third-person shooter developed by Metro 3D in collaboration with Red Purple Game Technology. It was planned for the release on the original Xbox and PC. Players would take on the role of a dead man named Joshua, trying to reopen the gates of hell so that demons can celebrate Halloween on Earth. The game was publicly shown at E3 2003. In Pumpkin Man, Halloween is the most important night for the forces of evil, when hell spirits are allowed to use the crystal seal to visit Earth for a single day. But to hell's misfortune, the path of Earth was suddenly sealed with the All Saints crystal, turning the gates in hell into a one-way trip. The game both promised an expansive single-player experience and a robust multiplayer mode. At the time of development, there were plans for 40 multiplayer levels, 20 single-player levels, 25 different enemy types, 13 unique weapons, and 4-player support. Unfortunately, Metro 3D filed bankruptcy in 2004, and Pumpkin Man was quietly cancelled and largely forgotten until July 2021, when Reddit user 2DMe shared a playable demo that they had discovered on a Taiwanese online forum. The demo was later uploaded to archive.org, offering a rare glimpse at a bizarre and ambitious game that never made it to release. And there you have it, lost and cancelled OG Xbox games. Thank you if you made it to the end of the video, I gladly appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions, thoughts, or additional information about these games, feel free to share them in the comments section below. I love to hear your insights. Don't forget to like the video if you found it interesting, and consider subscribing for more content like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.